Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Lord, Lord, Lord. Y'all, I went and took a nap. Okay, let me play one more song. I'm going to give it a couple more seconds for more people to get in here. We're at about 50. Like the stream. I'm going to play one more song and then I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about this situation because I went to sleep to take a nap and all hell is breaking loose. And it's not at Alcorn. Alcorn is fine. They got their head coach. Now I need to break the news about Texas Southern. So I'm gonna play this clip from the Sonic Boom of the South, and then when I return, I'm gonna be ready. I'm actually kind of disappointed right now. Kind of confused. So I put this live together real quickly. So I'm gonna play this clip. Make sure you like the stream, and then we're gonna get into it.
This is She Loves Me podcast.
All right, y'all. This is I like Whitley's term of to describe this situation. Ghetto. 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 Texas Southern pursued Fred Mcnair. Fred Mcnair didn't pursue them. Texas Southern pursued Fred Mcnair. Fred McNair was on the reservation. Yeah, he was going back and forth about his contract, but this is you already knew what was up. You already knew who was getting hired. So why are you pulling this last minute desperate attempt trying to disrespect and bring in a head coach on bad terms? Because this isn't what are you doing? All right. So I'm going to put allegedly behind everything that I say right now, but I do have confirmed confirmed reports from sources of what happened at that Board of Regents. Now, could you say that Fred Mcnair is to blame because of all these reports that he was talking with Alcorn and he was trying to work out a deal with them? Did that cause for the Board of Regents to get a little bit iffy? Or is this because a couple of the Board of Regents decided that they wanted to hire somebody else, so they're pulling this stunt? Like, I don't understand it. So let's go ahead. So the Board of Regents were not able to come to an agreement. So let's go ahead and look at these Board of Regents of Texas Southern University. And see who it is that decided to vote no or abstain from approving Coach Fred Mcnair after it was already in the works and his name has been in the circles. So it's pretty much been approved. But I guess a couple other people were interested in a different coach. And so that caused them, I guess you have to be unanimous in the voting in order for um, the coach to be hired. So this is interesting. Board of Regents, they met to basically hire a coach at $313,000. We saw that particular tweet, which I can pull that up again, by Blake Levine. He got that paper. But here's my thing. There's a couple of things. Number one, do you know what the date is with recruiting? Mr. Ford was just on here earlier and we were just talking about it. And now all of a sudden I go take a nap and the Board of Regents couldn't come to an agreement. All right, so Brandon Simmons, James Benham, Stephanie D. Nellens Page, Mary Rose, Honorable Carolyn Baker Hurley, Honorable Richard Johnson III. Everybody keep in your back pockets Richard Johnson III. Just keep him in your back pocket, okay? It's still kind of loading up on my internet, but y'all keep him in your back pocket. Let me see if I can find the other one. Honorable Pamela Medina and Dylan C. Getwood, who's the student regent. Okay, let me see who it was that said that they did not want to vote for him. Okay, let me see if I can pull that up. Okay, so, and I'm putting these with the allegedly. This is allegedly. Everybody, before I make this statement, I want you to type in the chat allegedly. I need to see at least 5 or 6 people type in allegedly. Otherwise, I don't know if I can make this statement. I need an allegedly in the chat. Allegedly. All right, there we go. There's one. There's 2. 3, 4. I need more. We'll need a couple more. All right, there we got it. The allegedly. So we got the allegedly in the chat. So allegedly, the 2 Board of Regents who decided to vote no, or nah, we don't want to approve this, or we're not going to vote today, is Honorable Richard Johnson III, which can be seen on this row as the second person, and the last person on this row, Honorable Marilyn A. Rose. Honorable Marilyn Rose and Honorable Richard Johnson. So let's go over their biographies, okay? Regent Marilyn A. Rose was appointed to Texas Southern University Board of Regents by Governor Greg Abbott in 2015. She is currently the Secretary of Texas Southern University Board of Regents. She's a certified public accountant and a former registered Texas assessor collector. She's 5 years of audit experience in the public account firm of Price Waterhouse Coopers and Deloitte and Touche, and 9 years of internal audit. Blah 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 blah. Okay, she did receive, so she is an alum. She holds a Bachelor of Business Administration degree in accounting from Prairie View A&M University and a Master's of Business Administration degree from Texas Southern University. So Miss Rose, or Mrs. Rose, excuse me, her name is Mrs. Rose because she's married. Mrs. Rose is an alum of Texas Southern University. All right, let's move on to the Honorable Richard Johnson III. He's the director of Texas Public Policy Foundation Booker T. Washington's initiative, which examines the effect of public policy on African American communities. He served as a chief of staff in both municipal and state governments, chief of staff for Houston Council. Let's go ahead and scroll down. He's a Texas native. Regent Johnson has an ED in Education Administration and a master's in clinical psychology from Texas Southern University. He received a bachelor's degree in history and government from Wiley College. So this is another Texas Southern alumni. So we have two people on the board, and they are actually Texas Southern alumni. Okay. Somebody said drop the link. Okay, I'm going to drop the link. So both of them are graduates of Texas Southern University. But let me share this inside. Let me share a couple of things. Number one, Fred Mcnair has not necessarily been talking directly to Alcorn State. His agent has been discussing. Fred Mcnair has been in Houston since Friday. Allegedly, Fred Mcnair was only getting paid $175,000 a year. Allegedly. Only $175,000 a year to be the head coach at Alcorn State. There's a couple people in the comments that are saying undergrad alums are different than grad school alums. And Clark, most of the time when people are basically when they're doing their contracts, negotiating contracts, you need lawyers and agents to be involved. So allegedly, he was only getting $175,000 a year, and he asked for the assistants to get raises, and Alcorn refused to pay the assistants whatever that number was. So apparently, it was a issue on the amount of money that he was making at Alcorn. And this is all allegedly. So when Mr. Ford talks about poverty wages, $175,000 a year is definitely lowballing. So let's go back to Texas Southern University. He had a negotiated deal that Fred Mcnair can bring his own assistants. He'll be given full control of the hiring. He'll be able to get them the wages that he feels like they deserve. The contract was approved by the financial officers at Texas Southern. This included a rider for the assistants' pay. The two board members, which I pointed out, they want to go a different route. They feel like they want to pivot and get what we like to call a so-called splash hire or celebrity hire. I feel like this is where they need to go. And the person that they were interested in hiring is Andre Johnson. His name was kind of swirling. his name was Swirling. I remember I asked somebody about Andre Johnson, and they were just like, he doesn't have any experience whatsoever at the college level. But he does. I remember asking Mr. Ford because I said, oh, okay, he does have Houston ties, right? So it kind of would make sense. He's actually currently on the staff for the Houston Texans at this time. So it kind of does make sense, that they would hire him. But this is way before um, Fred McNair's name was even in the hat. So my only issue with a celebrity hire is I know you're not talking about Ed Reed. Here, Dr. D. I'm starting to think Dr. D and Mayarn are the same people. I swear to God. I mean, they sound different, but they still have the same. If you're not getting Ed Reed, and they would need to resign. Okay, so a lot of there's a couple people in the chat saying, why does he need an agent? So an experienced agent knows how to negotiate things to be placed in a contract. Yeah, Dr. D and Mayarn are the same person. I swear to God. Well, Dr. D, come on up here and talk then. Come on up here. So we're going to wait for Dr. D to come over here, and I can't speak to you, but Mayarn and Dr. D, it's kind of like with Scooby-Doo, where you take the mask off and then you they reveal who it is behind the mask, and he's like, and I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids. Like Dr. D and Mayarn, y'all are two sides on the same coin, because Ed Reed shouldn't even be in the conversation. Now, the reason why it's such a travesty that this has happened is because it's already enough that Alcorn just kind of throws you to the wind. But for people to sabotage after you've already been improved financially and you think you got something going, for them to try to sabotage it's disgusting. And then these folks are waiting on the celebrity hire. We're in December. You don't have time for that. You needed to anoint and make sure his office is cleaned out as of last week. Dr. D.
Good evening. How you doing, Timona?
How you doing, Mayarn Jr.?
Okay, let's get something clear. No one speaks for me but me.
Oh no, no,
So,
no. I
oh,
don't think that Mayarn is speaking for you, but y'all speak alike. Y'all have the same talk.
oh, okay, okay,
Not speaking
okay.
for you. You just have the sophisticated professional speak of Mayarn.
Oh, okay, okay. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just say this. I think there are some things here. If you have a board secretary that is voting no, which tells me it's something dealing with the process that wasn't followed,
No,
and
I was told it's because they want a different coach. They don't got nothing to do with the
well,
coach.
let me just say this. If the process wasn't followed, for example, if the AD only looked at Fred McNair and no one else, then you can't say that you had anybody else to look at. So that's a process. You see what I'm saying?
Mm. So the only thing that I want to say is with that is, did nobody look at Alcorn? They didn't even take a second glance. They just said, "Here's your head coach."
And he had a signed contract, right?
I don't
I
know.
mean, I mean, I mean, because when
So
you,
as of okay, so Thursday, uh oh, here come them big bad Braves.
oh, gee, you,
What's up?
Is it G? Is it true that y'all were only paying Coach McNair 175,000 a year?
One? No, that ain't true. He started at 175 in 2016.
How much was he making?
I don't know exactly. One, I mean, 230, 40 or something like that. something like that. I don't know exact number though.
230 was included with the incentives. They said that he's making 175.
Nah, he
Hey
want to make.
G, hey G,
Our
when you
OT
said
was making 150. What you
G
say?
earlier, you said that when he you all offered him $100,000 more
Yeah,
than what he was making, and then he turned it down. So if he was making 230, that would have put him at 330.
yeah. He would. That's he okay. His number he wanted was 350.
He wanted 350, which was the match from TSU allegedly, right?
No, TSU only wanted offer 313, but they hadn't
313.
offered him that yet. That's what they voted on for the next head coach to make. Like I've been telling people for 3 days. Texas Southern has never talked to Fred. They talked to his agent.
Okay, but we were also told that on Friday when you said that Fred McNair was in a meeting, it wasn't him in a meeting, it was his agent.
No, Fred was at the meeting. Fred left the meeting and went to the hotel with recruits. Fred had another meeting
Hey
Saturday
guys.
and then another meeting yesterday. He had another meeting yesterday on campus with the president. Couldn't come up with a deal. Fred had another meeting
Hey
Saturday.
guys.
What up?
Urban Bold is in the chat. Y'all, what did you do, G?
I mean, I just
You want
think
me
it
to get
was
back in the chat? Because I had something to say about the
oh, go
Fred
ahead.
McNair thing. I think that they should hire him because he's know what he's doing and he has experience with the swag.
No,
I
you don't
mean,
have to go back in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Well, let me
By the
ask
way,
you a
by the
question.
way, go
It's a
Tigers.
contract. It's okay. The thing is, this is job interviewing 101. You never leave your old job unless you got the new job contract signed, right?
okay, well, let me put an end to this rumor, right? Fred didn't leave Auckland. We pulled the offer. Our president, Fred, wanted to wait until Wednesday. We pulled the offer from him because he was holding us up. So we gave him a deadline. He was still waiting on Texas Southern. They didn't say that. So we pulled our offer and moved on.
Damn.
We put our
So
offer and
that
moved on. It wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got this thing hashed out by Monday, early Sunday coming up. If we don't have this by Monday evening, we moving on. And that's he wanted to wait till Wednesday till you heard. We moving on Monday. And that's what we did. We moved on.
so basically he was trying to play two schools against
Yes.
each other to get the
Yes.
highest payday, and then it
Yes.
backfired on him, and
It
now he
backfired. You know
homeless.
what I'm saying? In my opinion, it backfired.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay.
But like I've been telling people, their AD has a relationship with Fred. Kevin Grange is from Mississippi. Their sister AD is an Arcanite that went to school with Fred McNair. That's where the relationship come from. They're the only two people that are vouching for Fred at Texas Southern. Everybody else doesn't want Fred. That's why the board
I
never.
wasn't told. I wasn't told. I was told that there was a lot of alumni and boosters that were excited for Fred McNair.
No.
Personally,
They should keep him.
No. How's it going? Somebody. The
so
board of
basically,
regents never.
y'all was playing games though. Then, if that's the case, because if you guys were like, we're gonna give you a deadline, you guys shouldn't have even called a meeting on Friday. You was playing with that man's head.
We listen. We kept trying to inch closer and closer to like doing little. Well, we'll give you this. Well, we'll give you this. We tried to work. We did things that we said we wasn't gonna do. We'll give you this, like crazy incentives. This, and he just would not budge. He wouldn't budge. He would not budge, and so.
So if he didn't budge, that means he was just basically trying to take all your offers over to TSU.
I honestly don't know what he was doing. I think it was, and I think it was, if I'm him, I would have took that off because it's a lot of people that take something that don't want Fred deal. No, and that's even on the board. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't want Fred deal.
If Texas, first of all, it's only two people on the board because those are the two people that said no. If Texas Southern hires Ed Reed, the moment that he has his meltdown, I want for those two people to resign. I want the AD to resign. I want everybody to resign. Ed Reed is not a good hire.
Yeah, they better not hire. That's gonna set the culture, man. They hire.
Fred always has he already has experience with the swag, so that gives him like a boost already. They really should keep him. I don't. And as far as the payment, you guys can always work it out over with time. So
Texas Southern has never this
I'm
talk
You
about.
can't keep him because he never was offered a job.
He never. That's why I keep telling people it
Yeah, he
needs
never had the
break.
job.
When HBCU Sports broke the news, oh, I was like, there got to be a lie because they never offered Fred a job. Remember earlier, Timona, you were saying about the agent talked to him. No, the agent talked to Texas Southern. Was talking tonight. Fred did fly to Texas Southern to meet with them. That was Thursday or Friday last week, one of them days. But most of the time, it was the agent talking. It wasn't Fred. It wasn't Fred. They never formally offered Fred any kind of contract. Nothing. And Fred was all he told us that. He told me that. He was like, gee, Fred, this Texas Southern woman, he laughed at it when it was shown to him because he said no money has been discussed. They told me they'll love to have me and all that, but they have not talked about me with a contract. So how can they say I'm accepting a job? I don't know if they're gonna pay me more. I don't know if they're gonna pay me less. We have not. He said we have not talked to Texas Southern about actual offer. That's what he told me. That's what he told me straight up. So I knew then. I'm like, he may leave, but as of now, he can't leave until they talk to him about the offer. And he was meeting with Allpoint every day trying to hash something out. But we set a
If they,
deadline. And we just stuck with the deadline.
it's like if you get rid of Mcnair, you like get rid of a family member. We need him in the swag.
Yeah, I think Mcnair a good dude.
Well, let me just say this. I'm gonna get off. Ed Reed is out here. Somebody's looking at Ed Reed. That's why I've been saying Ed Reed name for about 3 weeks now.
Ed Reed is trying to get an HBCU position wherever he can, whoever is desperate enough. And I'm sorry, there are no HBCUs that are that desperate to get Ed Reed a job.
He messed up his chance. He talked about
and he needs to, and Prime. He needs to go. Prime has a lot of opening positions. He needs to go get the position there. They have the facilities. They have the money to pay him. He's going to get the experience and then go to HBCU. You don't have a resume. Go. Why is it that you are friends with all these millionaires and billionaires and you're friends with a lot of coaching staff? None of them want to make you their position coach. I wonder why.
That's something to consider. I haven't thought about it that way. I was looking at it as a way of Ed Reed. You know, the name himself would bring recruits, but I guess that's a stupid way of seeing it. So because Ed Reed said himself that when JSU offered him the job, he turned it down because he was trying to follow up with what Prime said about bringing up HBCUs. So that's why. But hey, maybe he's not right now. Maybe he's not a good choice. We'll see.
I tell people this about Ed Reed. Ed Reed was chief of staff at Miami. If he was so good, why he didn't get no big time recruits to Miami? He was a chief of staff. All he did was recruit and couldn't get nobody to Miami, the University of Miami. Would they had the resource? He couldn't get nobody there. All this Ed Reed talk is so overrated to me. That's just my little opinion.
I mean, I think the thing that's saying that you can get recruits, like we see that Cedric Thomas isn't having any problems getting recruits.
All right.
TC Taylor's not having any problem getting recruits.
They
Willie not having problems getting recruits.
They have HBCU experience.
I'm just saying they're not celebrity coaches and they have absolutely no problem. Mike Minter, all the way in Campbell College in Bowie's Creek, where there's absolutely nothing there but that particular campus, he had absolutely no problem getting the #1 recruiting class 2 years in a row.
Yeah, in North Carolina. Yep.
Every single one of his recruits is 3 and 2 stars, and he's not a celebrity coach. And he was getting those young men to go out there. So I think that the celebrity, it's over.
Now, do you think they're trying to go after him because isn't the timing kind of interesting? He left Campbell, and now this is a vacant.
Now, if they would have said that we're going after Mike Minter, I would have felt like they should still hire Fred Mcnair and then put Mike Minter on the staff. Mike Minter, he's great at recruiting, and then it wasn't translating on the field, and maybe that's because he was getting mostly freshmen and he wasn't utilizing the transfer portal. You got to use the transfer portal and bring in experienced players. You have to.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll just watch you all. Timon, as always, keep up the great work, lady.
Thank you, Dr. D, for coming on. G, I mean, what is the how do the alumni of Alcorn feel after this particular news broke?
I mean, everybody wanted Cedric Thomas. Cedric Thomas been that dude around campus. Yeah, he just won over everybody. He won over everybody. He did everything that Mac wouldn't do. Mac quit the radio show. Cedric Thomas was meeting with us personally on our little. We got like different groups, and Ced was coming in our groups, meeting with us, doing Zoom calls with us. He's been doing everything that Fred wouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? So he won over the alumni anyway, and so that's why the transition was easy. They announced Mcnair was leaving 10 minutes later. They slid their contract right to Cedric Thomas. Literally slid it right to him. And that's why I thought it was crazy of Mac to do that, because you knew Cedric Thomas was gaining so much steam. And he tried to strong arm him and Alcorn, and Alcorn was like, nah, we got a good young coach in the wing, so we're not gonna do all that to pay you. And that's what happened.
I mean, so at this point, it's a done deal. Cedric Thomas is the head coach of Alcorn State football team. You guys have a recruiting class that comes out tomorrow, and you said you have on your show you have at least 17 commits.
Yep, 17. It may be 20 by in the morning. A couple
and
of
then, are you able? I remember you said that if Cedric Thomas is named the head coach, you'll be able to pull some of those folks out of the portal.
Yeah, we got 2 already. One on the offensive line and one to play receiver already.
Okay, so what about I got something to say. Well, what about the player that came to Jackson State? One of your top players. What do you got to say?
He wasn't a top player. Good kid though, really good kid.
Did you just say he wasn't a top player?
No, he didn't start for us. He was a good player for us. I don't want to take that from him, but he wasn't a starter for us. But he was a really good. He took, because this was his first year playing that position, so he took some strides. But I think the relationship got kind of rocky with him and Sid after he gave up a couple touchdowns in the game, and Sid he missed a couple assignments. Sid don't play it, and so it was some words that was said.
Didn't he have like some pass breakups and interceptions?
He do. Yeah, he had a couple. He had some. He had some. Yeah, he made some spectacular plays this year. I thought it was a great play. I would love to have him back, but I just thought he gave up some plays that Sid don't. If it's one thing to get beat, Sid don't like when you out of assignment. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the relationship got rocky with them too. And so he got beat on some deep things, and I think that's what the relationship got rocky. But other than that, yeah, great kid, can tackle, can hit, had a couple of spectacular picks, good size. But just the relationship got bad. So
I mean, I just feel like it's just a debacle, and it got really big with Alcorn saying, okay, coach, let's sit back at the table. So after it was announced, all hell broke loose. Mr. Ford, what is going on today?
Hey, I had some questions for G.
What's going on?
Let's talk Jason Phillips. Hey, what's the plan for him? Is he leaving? He's staying? What is he gonna do?
I don't know yet. I asked today, and he told me he got to sit down and evaluate all this.
Okay, what about the offensive line position, coach?
He still got to hire one. He still got to hire one. So
he's got to hire one. Okay.
That should be done. That's told me it's his first order of business this week. Just getting that etched out. His offensive staff, the defensive staff probably stay.
Right.
How it was, probably add a player, bump somebody up to actual DC. But most of them gonna stay, but the offensive staff is what he got to kind of got to work out.
Well, let me just say this, Mr. Mona. This is showing you why Texas Southern is a perennial loser in football in the SWAC, because what you're seeing right here, this is basically malfeasance on the part of the board or the trustees or whatever. It is tactical, and it is also the way we do business. When the AD picks a person to be the head football coach, basically the trustees of the board rubber stamps it. For these two people to do what they're doing on this Texas Southern board, they're holding up progress.
Yep.
And so I talked to you about this before. I told you, It was two things I said about Texas Southern. Number one, they only keep a president about 2.5 years. You can't have a sound football program like that when you're changing presidents every 2.5 years. The second problem I said was that I thought that Granger only cared about basketball. I didn't really know if Granger could be an architect to build a football team at Texas Southern that could win the SWAC and then win the Celebration Bowl. But this, what's going on at Texas Southern right now, shows you why they are perennial losers in the SWAC as far as football is concerned.
I mean,
agree.
Mr.
I
Ford, like,
agree.
what do you think's gonna happen? Are they gonna let it slide? I mean, G, what do you think? Do
I
you
mean,
think?
this is ridiculous. Like one of your callers, one of the people was on your panel just said, you talking about Andre Johnson, no experience nowhere. And then you talking about Fred. Fred, how many times did he win the SWAC East? He went to the Celebration Bowl as an assistant coach once, I think, and he went to the Celebration Bowl twice as a head coach. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
This guy, Andre Johnson, don't even have a resume as far as a head coach. All he's saying is, I played pro ball, so I think I should be considered. That's ludicrous. That's foolish. So I'm going to say it again. What you are witnessing, Texas Southern is showing you why they are perennial losers in SWAC football. Even though they got an outstanding budget, they have the money. They spend more money on sports than the majority of the SWAC schools. You see now, like I said, at most colleges or universities, once the athletic director targets a candidate, the board of trustees rubber stamps that. That's his job. And then you're going to tell me about some man or some woman is talking about they got a problem with it? I'm going to say it again. That board of trustees of Texas Southern, or that whatever they are holding up progress.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. I agree. I 100% agree. I just don't understand it. I think they're gonna eventually get a deal worked out with Mac. That's what I just think. I think eventually they're gonna AD and Stephon Robinson and Kevin Granger gonna they're gonna get a deal worked out, hopefully. But it's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess.
These people are overstepping their boundaries. That's what it is. They're overstepping their boundaries.
Yep.
And if you're not gonna let the guy, why even have an athletic director? If you're not gonna let him do his job, why even have that position?
What do you think about Ed Reed, Mr. Ford?
I don't want to hear his name anymore. I'm sick of hearing it. I was through with him after the debacle down at Bethune-Cookman.
I'm with you. I'm sick of it. I watched him walk around the Bayou Classic. I was there. I watched him walk around, shaking hands and politicking and buying drinks. He was just politicking. He was on Southern side, went through all these suites, came on Grambling side, waving, come up there buying everybody to stand there drinks, trying to politic. But I'm done with him. I'm sick of him.
So Mr. Ford and G, Texas, he added Texas Southern and said, "Can we talk?"
He said, "What now?"
Ed Reed said, "Texas Southern Tiger, can we talk?"
I'm like you. I think you put it best of anybody. If he want to be in college football, go to Boulder. Yep. Go with going up there with Dion.
Yep. He ain't begging these white institutions to get their job.
Yeah, go up there with them. That's who you played for.
Yep.
Go up to Boulder. You and Warren Sapp, y'all can have a University of Miami reunion up there on the staff at the University of Colorado. Go up there with them, but leave us alone.
So another question that I have is, moving forward, where are we at? Tomorrow's early signing day. Texas Southern still doesn't have a job. Dr. D asked, what about Jeff Blake?
Listen, Jeff Blake is a legacy. His daddy was an outstanding coach in Florida.
Yep.
Where is Jeff at now?
He's the IMG quarterback coach. And he runs like
I love that. Listen, yeah, I know Jeff. Jeff is
Yep.
see what we talking about here is quantity and quality. Jeff Blake and them are quality.
Yep.
He's what we call a legacy. His
Yep.
dad was an outstanding coach. Anytime you can get somebody like Jeff Blake, please. That's
Yep.
that new blood. That's that new tie I was telling you about today. Yeah, I love to have Jeff Blake.
I was told today that somebody sent Kevin Granger the information on Jeff Blake, his number, his resume. Kevin Granger told him to hurry up and send me his resume, but never called and interviewed the man.
Oh yeah, Jeff and them are that's quality.
Yeah,
that's quality. We could get Jeff. I would love to have Jeff in the SWAC.
Yep, and Jeff wants to be in the SWAC too.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a slap in the face to Coach Fred McNair, and I am flabbergasted, in shock that they could pull this move. Everybody's pulling the contracts off the table now. Alcorn pulled theirs. Texas Southern agreed in principle that he was going to be the next coach, and then all of a sudden now he doesn't have a contract. What's going on?
Well, it's like I just told you. Texas Southern is showing you why they are perennial losers in the SWAC when it comes to football. This is Bush League stuff. This is not professional. This is not what winners do. This is not what championship programs do. I've said it I've said it on your show. I've said it on Doc's show before. I've always questioned Texas Southern. First of all, I didn't know if Granger was capable of putting together a SWAC championship football team. The other thing I always said, to me, he was all basketball. The only thing he really cared about, basketball. But see, what's being exposed tonight is that they got a problem with a board that's trying to do too much. Okay? Instead of going along with what the athletic director's doing, they trying to take over. That's not what boards are supposed to do.
Yeah.
They're overstepping their boundary.
Yep.
So basically, this is going to cause discord between the AD, and if they end up going with Mcnair, now you've soiled the relationship already out the gate.
Already.
Yeah, I think some of your people in the chat have already said, they said that board at Texas Southern has been a problem for years. I don't know who said it, but somebody said that. They said that board has been a problem for years. They are sabotaging the process.
They're sabotaging the program because
that's what they're doing. They're sabotaging the program, the process, whatever. A board ain't supposed to determine personnel. That's what you got the athletic director for. He chooses the personnel.
Do you think they're going to fire the athletic director?
No. I think the board is just going to keep doing what they're doing.
Well, I think they once again, you have someone, Andre Johnson, who is basically holding hostage his relationship with the Houston Texans, dangling it in front of Texas Southern as a bargaining chip for, if you hire me as head coach, I've got some something in the wings that we could use.
Well, that's just like me selling you some land on Mars.
I mean, what is the locker room like at Alcorn since Cedric Thomas has been announced as head coach?
They love it. Sid has been the guy. I try not to like. I'm not trying to throw like Fred under, but Sid has been that guy that players go to. He's the player coach. You know, Fred was more of the overseer, but Sid is the guy that the players absolutely love. When Sid got rehired, I made a comment one day. I was like, man, I don't know if this is gonna be the right hire. The former players from Alcorn jumped all over me. The guys that played for me doing his first stint at Alcorn jumped all over me. They love that guy. And once I got to know him personally and watched him the way he interacted with the kids, he had me sold. So yeah, everybody excited. We didn't get not one disgruntled player, not one. So that was a good thing about it.
I think the Board of Regents is similar to Mississippi. The board is appointed by the governor.
And listen, you're talking about a head case. When you're talking about that Governor Abbott, that's mental illness, baby, in a political position.
So I just wanted to quickly, for people who are joining, go ahead and hit the like button, but I just wanted to quickly go over this again. So basically what has happened is the Board of Regents have not voted to approve the contract for Coach Fred Mcnair for $313,000. And the two people that said no, Marilyn A. Rose, which is the fourth picture on this page, and then on the second line, it's the second one, Richard A. Johnson the third. But Mr. Ford, they are both Texas Southern alums at the grad level.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say what I've been saying. They holding up progress. They overstepping their boundaries.
Yep.
If this is the guy that Granger said that's who we want, then they should have rubber stamped that. You are absolutely right, Shelton Mackey. That's right. He would.
So what do you think? Can the alumni put pressure on them? Or,
Oh yeah, they can. I mean, they can make their thoughts heard. I just think this is ridiculous. But like I said, what you're seeing now is why Alcorn is a perennial loser in football in the SWAC.
Alcorn, you mean Texas Southern?
I mean Texas Southern. I'm sorry, not Alcorn. Texas Southern.
So, Dr. D is saying that the AD didn't follow the process on the interviews. But I don't think that a AD has to consider multiple candidates if he doesn't want to. Did Alcorn go through a process?
No, indeed. They got cussed out of their deal.
So now the issue is, does the alumni care enough? Because they're not really invested in football like that.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. That's what I'm saying. I know they really care about basketball. The women's basketball was really good at one time. I don't know. It was really good. I think it's kind of fallen, but the men's program, was really good under Mike Davis. I think they've won the SWAC under, and his name Johnny Jones. I think he went to LSU. Yep. Johnny Jones. They do care about basketball. My thing is that I'm just seeing now why they are perennial losers in football. Because this is a mess. This is a mess. And you talk about Andre Johnson. Has he ever coached anywhere?
Never.
Okay. But now you want to give him Texas Southern. Come on.
No coaching history. Does he even have a coaching staff?
Right, that's what I'm saying. No, he don't.
Ed Reed either. Like, they're thinking they can emulate a Deion Sanders, and these folks do not have. If you listen to his talking, he hired a firm, and they did like SWOT analysis on which HBCU he should pick. He knew about the crime rate. He knew about how much money was coming in. He knew what obstacles he was going to face. But what he did know is Jackson State has a strong fan base, the number one attendance in FCS. The alumni will support him. But the things that they are thinking they're going to gain from this, it's not going to be the same. Deion Sanders had multiple already contracts with like P&G, Walmart. He already had these relationships. Early signing day is tomorrow, but the board wanted more time. How much more time do you need?
Exactly.
And I was told by an alum that there was multiple people that were interviewed, but the process was thorough, and this is who they decided they wanted to hire. It's no different than Southern saying that they're going to hire a firm and go through X, Y, and Z, and then they approve Terrence Graves.
Yeah, there's some division down there at Southern too. I know, I followed Terrence for years. I remember when Terrence was a player at Winston-Salem. I really don't have, the only thing I say to Terrence is, please go and get your own offensive and defensive coordinator. Please don't wear somebody else's underwear. Okay? Go get your own offensive and defensive coordinator.
So do you think that Alcorn should get their own underwear, Mr. Ford? Cedric Thomas?
Now,
G pretty much wants to keep a lot of people in place. So do
yeah,
you think
now, like I told you before, now I am a fan of that Jason Phillips.
Yeah.
I think it helps Alcorn if he stays as offensive coordinator. Okay. I think he keeps that defensive staff. I don't know if he will run the defense and whether or not he will be the manager of the program and put a person in place to run the defense. But if he can keep Jason Phillips, that would really help the Braves. That would really help them.
Yeah, Jason Phillips got my vote to stay as well.
Yeah, the only other thing I've said that Alcorn is needed, I've said for years, I said, listen, after Stachek left, Alcorn needed an offensive coordinator, offensive line coach. That's why I was asking about the offensive line coach.
Yeah, you own it now.
Yeah, because at one time, Stachek, listen, I will never forget that year that Alcorn went into the Celebration Bowl against A&T the second time.
Yeah.
And they were behind, and they came out in that second half, and Stachek had changed all them blocking assignments. Because I tell people all the time, they took that game from Alcorn. They said that big wide receiver juggled that ball. He caught that ball.
Yep, sure did.
They took that away from Alcorn now. I don't care what they say. Even we talk all the time. We say that that A&T won 4 Celebration Bowl. That's one they took from Alcorn. That second one they took it from.
Yep, I got thrown out that game.
Yeah, they took that from me.
You got thrown out of where, G?
When that happened, they threw me out. I lost my mind. Security came got me.
Oh Lord, they carried you out. They drug you out.
Escort, they ain't drug me out, but they escorted me out.
Lord, how you doing, Brother Bakari?
Everything. How y'all doing?
Well, we just trying to figure out what's going on. G done crowned Cedric Thomas as the head football coach, and he broke the news live. And just as he said, as a credible source that he is, Cedric Thomas was named the head coach. And then we have a situation now where Coach Fred McNair's job security is in limbo.
I think that's really foul. I've been listening. I was down there in the clouds, right? I think that's really foul. It was Texas Southern and Alcorn working together to get rid of Fred. I don't know, but that's real foul to do someone like that. But I wanted to piggyback off something I heard Mr. Ford saying. I don't want to hear CTE Reed name no more. I really don't want. We need to get rid of that. And when I heard when Mr. Ford say, has Andre Johnson ever coached? You know, the thing that black people gonna say these days, well, he got access to resources. Man, we the damn resource. Stop begging people to come and be with us. Fred is a proven coach. Why would you go to get someone like Ed Reed? Now, I don't think Andre Johnson would do what Ed Reed has done. Andre Johnson has a track record of going back and helping the community and everything while he was in the NFL and doing stuff. So I don't think he would do something like Ed Reed, but I still think it's foul to do what they have done to do what they have done to Fred McNair. That's real. That's real foul. You know, I know that got to hurt. You know, it got to. So you know, that's all I want to say.
Do you think that the Board of Regents is going to come to an agreement overnight, or do you really think they're just going to hold this in hostage with signing day? G, do you think that they're going to go ahead and finish the contract out, or do you think they're going to hold the job hostage?
I don't know how long it's going to. I think eventually they will. If Kevin Graves and them got any heart and to stand on they peak, I think they will. But I just don't know how long they'll let it drag out. I don't know how long they'll let it drag out. That's gonna be the problem. How long they're gonna let it drag out? So it's gonna be interesting to see.
See, let me say this about this Andre Johnson and this Ed Reed thing. See, Dion came into the black college world as, first of all, a habitual liar because he lied about everything. And then he was a con man. So
Yep.
because he was successful as a habitual liar and a con man, you got the copycats. Okay?
Yep.
Ed Reed, the copycat. Andre Johnson, the copycat. But see, we don't have to go along with that foolishness.
You're right, Mr. Ford. We don't have to go along with that. There's a lot of black coaches out here, deserving coaches, who want to come and show what they're capable of doing. And as long as, and like you said, if they want to be copycats, and you're right, Dion was an absolute con man,
Yeah,
liar,
he's a
and
con
but
man.
Ed Reed couldn't even sign the contract he showed his true colors, right?
Right.
I don't know why his friend who wanted him to get the job at Jackson State won't give him a job at Colorado.
Thank you.
Right.
Won't give him a job at Colorado. And I tell people, when you look at his resume for his coaching, he was an assistant defensive back coach for the Buffalo Bills for 2 years, I think, an assistant defensive back coach. When he went to Miami, go read, I put it, you can read his whole, I think I still got it. He wasn't even allowed to talk to recruits. He couldn't coach. He was just there, a face that they thought was going to help bring recruits to the school. So, but what he's doing now, and I heard him on that podcast, and he's talking, and I studied Miss Bethune, so, and man, everything that woman went through, that's what made me want that job, and I still want to help. And I'm going to tell you something, right? If you truly care about what Mary McLeod Bethune went through and you want to help, stop dangling your little fake access to resources over the head. You know what? This woman put her life on the line. Bethune-Cookman don't have to hire me. I messed up. He said he messed up. Everybody know he messed up. I messed up. So the access to resources that I have with what she went through to keep her school open, I'm going to make sure Bethune-Cookman can get those access to resources. But if they have access to resources, they don't want to help. They want to hold them over your head and hold you hostage. But all these HBCUs got to do, look at Jackson State recruit now, Dion gone. Listen to some of the players talk. Listen to the guy that spoke today. I ain't never seen this many black people on a college campus. We don't understand. We don't need them. They need us. We are the resource. Without somebody holding over your head, well, I know this person and they got that money. One thing, once you understand business, once you truly understand business and start doing business, you don't need no so-called celebrity to do business for you. Because the two things white folk, one thing they love and the other one they fear. They love money and they fear the loss of it. You ain't got to, if they think they can, you can, if we understood business, them HBCUs can go down there and deal with some of them same folks and get some of that same stuff if that's what you're going after, some of those resources, because those people want to make money. You don't need those people to do that. If you don't believe, if they want to pay me to go do it, I'll go talk to them for them. I know how to do this. I'm good at dealing with them. I'm good at dealing with the ones like Tate Reeves, the governor of Mississippi. Make a whole lot of money off them dummies. Go down there, be yourself. You ain't got to kiss no butt. Go be yourself. It's easy. These people understand business. That's what we gonna have to understand business. We gonna deal with these folks anyway. You really don't need them because they can make money off. They've been making money off us anyway. So it's time for us to get some of it back. And you don't need somebody like Ed Reed who would do what he did to Bethune-Cookman. Then at the end of his rant, what people forget about the end of his rant, he said, all HBCUs, just like this. So he was not just talking about Bethune-Cookman.
It's really awkward to see how many people are advocating for Ed Reed that are in HBCU spaces after he disrespected just the level of disrespect and just disregard for HBCUs. It was on a whole nother level. And then that's damage that can't be undone. Those are words that can't be taken back. And so for me, I felt like, why would anybody want him back in those spaces unless you're literally advocating for him to have access to do it all over again? Right? Because I feel like he'll do it all over again. If he has another episode or he doesn't agree with something, that he would do it all over again. Maybe not to that magnitude, but the level of respect is not there. And folks are saying, well, he didn't know, but we all know he wouldn't do it at the University of Miami.
There you go.
Wouldn't do it in your white spaces that you had to navigate through. Ain't no way you think that it's okay to do it for us just because he feels that we're less than. He feels like we're a charity case that we need him. So I need for maybe Andre Johnson. I understood the relationships with Houston Texans, but I kind of feel like the Houston Texans should automatically, without even saying it, without even all these extra strings attached, the Houston Texans should be closely, related with the HBCU that's in their city. I think they have the wrong people that are advocating for Texas Southern on those levels where you build those type of relationships. Houston Texans and all NFL teams, they have what we call good PR, where they might do something for the community or during Black History Month. So these are times where you build a relationship, whether or not it's genuine or not. The Houston Texans and Texas Southern can build a relationship just off of those various things. Thank you, Jay, for becoming a member. And if HBCUs are such a charity case, why hasn't he done anything before now?
Right. I lost respect for the Houston Texans with that situation with that quarterback.
I lost respect with them with the coach.
What was that quarterback's name? What was that quarterback's name? The one from Clemson.
Watson.
Man, now you talking about a debacle.
Yeah.
That mess, I don't want to. I don't even know if I want to be associated because they said the team set up all that mess. Yeah, he partook in it, but they said they set it up because it made all them girls sign that non-disclosure stuff that P. Diddy and them was doing. You see it all. You're involved in all kind of mess, but you got to sign a paper saying I'll never talk about it.
Okay, so Brother Bakari, Mr. Ford, and G, what do you think is next for Texas Southern in the next 2 to 3 business days?
Well, I think you done already hit it on the head. I think the alums of Texas Southern need to get involved and let these people know on this board, you don't run this school, this is our school, and you ain't going to do this mess.
Yeah.
And bring it to an end. If the AD has said he wants Fred McNair, the board is supposed to rubber stamp it. It's not their job to pick the coach. The AD is supposed to do that. So it's up to the people. Listen, if the alums at Texas Southern don't care, hey, hopefully it'll get worked out. But they should be raising, you know what? They should be raising saying, this is a championship coach. And you talking about Andre Johnson. He ain't never coached nowhere. He ain't even coached a 5-year-old team. And now he want to coach Texas Southern? Come on. That's not common sense.
So a lot of people are saying in the chat that they want to bring in a coach from Texas.
That, like I said, that is up to the athletic director.
Yep.
That's his job.
And G, you said the athletic director is an Alcornite?
The assistant,
No.
the other one is from
Okay.
the Alcorn area. So one is
Oh.
from the area and one is Alcornite that went to school.
Yeah.
Went to
Kevin
school with Mac,
Granger was
real
a
good friends with Mac.
basketball star for Texas Southern.
Yep.
He was a basketball star for them.
Okay, so from what I was,
I don't know what. I'm sorry.
go ahead, Brother Bakari.
No, because you had said something about the next 2-3 days. I don't know how this work, but I know one thing. I'm down. I'm just gonna speak for me. Even in the next 2-3 days, they tell me they got my money. They tell me I can take the job after doing something like this. Right now, I would be working on seeing if I can just get me something out this deal and bounce, because they're gonna have to be a very uncomfortable position. You somewhere where you know you're not wanted. Any mistake, you gonna be gone. Because I'm gonna tell you something. I know Mr. Ford said let the AD do his job. Man, it just seemed like all of them working in cahoots with me, the athletic director, the assistant, them people on the board, whatever. It seemed like they're all working in cahoots together. And you really, I'm speaking, like I say, if it was me, you can't be nowhere like looking over your shoulder. If I make one mistake, I know I'm gone. Like, can I sue y'all? Can I get something from this, from what y'all have done to me? And I just had to try to steer my coaching career in another direction, because this would not be a comfortable coaching position for Fred Mcnair. That's my take on it.
But it was the Board of Regents, not necessarily the AD. But you're saying you feel like the AD probably had a hand in it too?
I think they are all working together. That's just what I believe. Yes, that's what it seemed like. If it's the AD job, how can they stop me from doing my job? Because the Board of Regents said something, and I'm the athletic director, and it's my job to do this. You can't stop me from doing my job. The only way only way you stop me from doing my job is because I just say, okay. It just seemed like I'm just saying what it seemed like. And when I hear Mr. Ford talking, Mr. Ford is the athletic director job. Got to get out the way and let him do his job. Now,
here's how it works, okay? When you got this kind of division going on, you got a board that's doing what they're doing. You got an athletic director that's made a decision. And they're what they call loggerheads, or they're divided. Your president is supposed to step in and end this foolishness. He's supposed to come in and say, look, this is what we're doing. Now, here's the thing. Do they have a permanent president, or do they have an interim president? What do they have? Texas Southern folk, do y'all have a president, or do you have an interim president? What do you have? Because that's what he's supposed to do. When you had loggerheads like this, the president's supposed to step in and say, look, I'm for this person or I'm for that person. He's supposed to end it. He's the last word. That's why he's called the president. So what do you have?
An interim. I think an interim.
So they have an interim?
Let me see. It says interim president Mary E. Sias. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing right now, but right now when I look at the office of the president, that's what I'm getting, which would explain some things, not even just with Alcorn, but with Alcorn, with Grambling. We have a lot of instability at the higher
There you go. There you go.
It's permeating through not just the university, but it's like a destabilization all throughout. And the Truth Seeker says it's our interim president is an elderly lady who doesn't know sports.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
They said Brian Simmons doesn't have an administration assistant for the Ocean. So there's just a lot of which for me that just speaks to like at Grambling what happened with Hugh Jackson was they had the president left. They have an interim president over there at Grambling. At Alcorn, they have an interim president and an interim AD. So there's a lot of coaching changes that are taking place with people who are in interim positions. But one of the alums from TSU says money is not an option. It's not an issue. The issue isn't necessarily the money. Somebody said that the interim president is not elderly, but she might not, like you said, it might be a cultural thing with football, which is really a shame because I feel like Houston should be a blue blood for the SWAC.
No doubt about it. It's a sleeping giant. But they, from what I'm seeing, they got some serious problems internally.
I mean, I don't even understand what the holdup. What was the point of you voting no? What did you think that they were just gonna? So you have, let's see how many people we have on this board. You have all of these people on the board who just went ahead and approved it. So it looks like they have 8 members. The chairman is Brandon Simmons. That's interesting to me. Dang. So Brandon Simmons, this is really interesting. He was appointed by Texas Southern University Board of Regents by the Texas Governor Greg Abbott in February of 2023 and unanimously confirmed by the Texas Senate in May of 2023. I'm kind of like giving the side eye for why a HBCU would have that type of person as the head of their board. How you doing, Coach Walmer? Am I saying that correctly?
Did I type my name in wrong? Hold on. Look at this again.
Yep.
Yeah,
You did.
sure did. Ooh, fat fingered all of that. My apologies.
But they have an interesting chair. He doesn't look like the constituents of the board in which he's serving, and that's the chair. But like you said, it's run by Abbott. So some of the alums say that Mcnair was able to recruit from Houston. So just imagine if you're in Houston. Okay, somebody said they didn't vote no, they just didn't show up to the meeting. All right, Coach Walker, what's your take on what's going on?
Well, I honestly feel they're going to get it done. There is some backdoor madness going on. I do feel as well, with everybody trying to position themselves. You got to understand, Texas Southern, not Texas, Texas, the Texans. They gave Texas Southern a field. That field still has not been laid yet. They're still trying to get the weight room and stuff taken care of over there. There's some things still in place in which, they're trying to get situated. And you got people that financially have poured into the school outside of, say, alum, like the Texans, in which, they may want to see more bang for their buck. If by chance Johnson steps in, if by chance he ends up getting slid in there as the new coach. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's more so people are just trying to create a bigger stir. And then another question I have is Coach McNair, is his contract up yet?
He's already he's when you say contract up, I know you're not talking about Alcorn. That's a done deal.
I mean, so with this interim guy coming in,
signed, sealed, and delivered.
Okay.
Coach Cedric Thomas is the head coach. There's no coming back from that. It is what it is.
Okay, well, Trophy Chaser, you said that the field is down. Then I apologize if the field is down. But what I was told earlier today, that field is sitting in storage. So we'll go with what you said, that you're saying that the field is down. There's no problem with that. So no untruth being spread. I'm just letting you know what people from that's at Texas Southern allegedly are saying, right?
Allegedly, the field is not complete for practicing on or for having.
They're if I'm not mistaken, for their home games. Allegedly, that field is not down at the stadium for their home games. Their stadium.
So you're talking about the soccer field that they play on, or they actually have their own stadium?
If I'm not mistaken, there's a field that they got, the turf that they got from Texas Southern. I mean, not Texas, from the Texans. It's supposed to go down at their field. So if I'm not mistaken, that allegedly that field has not been placed down as of yet. Now, like I said, I could be wrong, but there's some people that's over there at Texas Southern that are saying that this is not the case. So I mean, there's a lot of different things that's in play right now that don't quite make sense with this, because it doesn't. Why would you say that this man, in principle, is the new head coach, and then today we're saying, well, there's a problem with the vote, or allegedly there's a problem with the vote, and people don't understand what's going on. And Alcorn State has already moved on. I'm sure Coach Mcnair and his family probably have already gotten themselves together to make a move and start heading that way. So I mean, this right now looks very bad.
But is it? Do we blame Texas Southern for it, or do we place that blame on the Board of Regents? Which obviously, just looking at the board and what the general makeup of the board is, it's not like it's representative of the actual university.
What Mr. Ford said is generally correct. That if the AD comes in there and say, "This is my guy," then we should be moving forward with that. I mean, it's kind of like the whole situation. I don't mean to bring this one up, but like when Art Browse was when Coach Hugh Jackson wanted to bring Art Browse into the program, and everybody threw a fit about it. They were just totally against it. In the beginning, they were taking some consideration into doing it, and then all of a sudden, you saw it just fall flat. Say, "No, we're not going that direction. He can't come." So with this being said, I kind of feel like this is another instance where it was a preconceived notion that yes, he's the guy, but now everybody's backtracking, saying we have to, we got to do due diligence or whatever to go ahead and complete this. Like I said, I hope this man is not getting jerked as far as with being the next coach over there at the school, because he's already looking for athletes to come there, I'm sure.
Yeah, this is disgusting on a lot of levels. It's not a good way to start as head coach. Not a good start, but it's not technically the AD's fault, and it's not technically the alum that are at fault. It's the two people on the board that decided, because I mean, Fred Mcnair has been crystal ball for Texas Southern for at least a week and a half. So why wouldn't you guys already have this particular thing done, or know that you're not going to hire him? Why wouldn't you already announce this, that you were going to hold it up? Like, why are we doing this now? Why are they choosing to do that?
The only way I could see something like that happening is like what you guys been stating previously. I mean, are they trying to bring someone else into the fold? That has not been announced. I mean, I agree with one of the other guys that was talking about, as far as with Ed Reed. I'm just like, listen, I would like to see him coach somewhere, but just not right now. And why I say that is because with everything that went on, I feel like the scab on that has not healed. And if it was genuinely about you want to coach and want to, do whatever it is with the athletes, then become a position coach and work your way that way. I mean, I get it. You're an ex NFL player that has a lot of knowledge, as well as you have the ability to bring in resources to help the universities. But I'm just saying, at this present moment, I kind of feel like maybe a position coach would kind of help kind of smooth things over a little bit where people can really get a good look at, okay, how is this man trying to really dig in and do what he's wanting to do here at our university. I'm not saying he has to come bring his resources or anything like that to the university, but I'm just saying show them, just show them, in faith, like, hey, look, this is what I really want to do, and show them what you can do. Because right now, everything that took place while he was at Bethune-Cookman with the social media and all of the other kind of stuff, that's gonna be that's gonna be crazy for anybody to really want to concede and say, "Hey, come on in, we'll bring you into the fold." I mean, I think because you got to look at it. All of the presidents and the ads, they do sit down and talk. I mean, that's one thing folks got to understand. Everybody do sit down and talk with one another. It's not like something happens and then they don't sit down and have a conversation. And say, hey, listen, hey, what was the deal with the situation you had over there? They're gonna ask questions to find out what's going on. They're just not gonna let it fly by and just act like, okay, well that was their thing. We don't really care nothing about that. No, people are gonna reach out and ask questions because they want to know, just in case if this person decide they want to come over here in our yard. Okay, how do we need to handle this certain situation or handle this certain person? So that's why I said right now, I think if he decides to go with a if he's to go with a position, a position coach, and then just move his way that way, I think it might smooth over a little better for him to do whatever it is that he's looking
I
to
feel
do.
like he's above. He feels like he's above it, especially at the HBCU level. If he was talking about Power Five, he wouldn't have a problem with it. Let me go ahead and play this commercial real quick, and we will be right back. Oh wait, I did it wrong. I'm gonna play this commercial real quick, and then we will be right back. And I will be asking Coach Walker, Brother Bakari, and Mr. Ford on what are their thoughts with the realignment that has taken place in the SWAC West and how it will affect next year during because some of these coaches started real late. How will that affect their season?
Greetings and salutations. This is She Loves Thee podcast with a special reminder of the current sale going on at iweavehair.com. Your holiday hair will scream fabulous with iWeave's Alpha collection. From now until December 20th, if you buy 2 bundles, get one half off. Use checkout code iWeaveHoliday now until December 20th. If a kiss begins with K, holiday hair begins with iWeave. iWeave, do you? Happy holidays.
Thank you so much for tuning into that commercial. So Mr. Ford, Brother Bakari, Coach Walker, how do you think the SWAC West is going to be able, are they going to be able to compete next year, or are we crystal balling the SWAC East off the rip just because of the late starts with recruiting?
Well, I'll say what I've been saying, and I've said it on your show, and I've said it on Doc's show. With all this disjointed, no unity between the presidents, the administration, the athletic director, and the head football coaches, that guy down there in Tallahassee is going to continue to beat these folk in the ground. That's why I keep telling y'all, with all this mess going on over there on that West, listen, fam, you're going to dominate from now on. I can see them dominating for the next 5 years because we got too much foolishness going on.
Coach Walker?
I'll say this. You never know what can happen. Like I said, right now, I'm not going to go that far with it because we haven't seen recruiting. Grambling was able to get in there, and it was able to get them a coach to come into the program that will be able to have an opportunity to bring in recruits. The cupboard, as far as with Grambling, is not as empty as many may think that it may be. But I do believe that they do have some athletes over there that they can find a way to put something together to possibly contend. Now, Southern, that's going to be something to see how that goes, especially them and Alcorn. Like I said, I never in a million years thought Alcorn would be, Fred McNair is not at Alcorn State University. That is just like, okay, what's next? I mean, I would think that he's leaving on his own will, but I just would have thought that they would have been able to take care of him in a manner in which you've seen some of these other schools be able to do, to make sure he's taken care of from a financial standpoint as well as resources. I get it. A lot of the universities doesn't have the finances for the resources that they need. That's understood. But I'm like, at some point in time, we got to get out of that bag and find a way to get those resources that are needed and make sure we continue to keep doing the things that need to be done. Because again, football is bringing in the revenue for the universities to do a lot of the things that they need to do. Not only that, but help pay some of the bills, that tuition and other money that they are accustomed to getting from the states or whomever is not there for them to have in their hands at that time. So that's why I'm like, what's next? How do these institutions manage themselves with situations like this? Like I said, Texas Southern, you lost your quarterback. I think the other quarterback, I think that young man might have went into the transfer portal too. I'm not for certain. I've heard rumbles about him thinking about doing it, but not sure if he actually did it. So now you got to go back in and you got to find somebody to come out there and be your lead signal caller. So there's a lot of different things that's going on right now as far as we're trying to get things in order with that program from top to bottom. Like I said, there's a lot of athletic directors out there that are not um, sports is not something that they really want to stick a fork into and say, okay, cool, let's see if this meat is really done, or if not, then yeah, we need to go ahead and cook a little bit longer, and then we need to add some seasoning on this thing to make this thing right. So they're getting out there to do the things that they need to do to make sure that once the meat is cooked, everything is the way it needs to be. And right now, I don't think a lot of these folks that are in position, sports is not something that they're really on. It's just, it's like, hey, let's make it do what it do, and we see how it goes from there. Cool. Jason's still on the team. Great. He's on board with me. See, that's what I'm talking. Ocean's 9. That's what I'm talking about. Again, that makes sense. If you bring Mcnair to the program, your quarterback play goes up tenfold.
I mean, we did just see Aaron Allen, who had limited play last year, go off this.
Right.
Like, no, who would have thought that Aaron Allen would have been able to convert his season into what he did? Aaron Allen did a phenomenal job
Okay.
when they bought in the young man from Mizzou,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody was speaking so highly of that young man, and he got injured. I think in that game with Southern Miss, Aaron Allen went off. He compared to his season last year, he was in Brady mode compared to his
Right.
last year. Like, if you look at his season last year and you look at what he did this year, you would think that there's two different people. Um, so, and it says that Aaron Allen is from the Houston area also. I think this was Aaron Allen's his last season, though he doesn't have any more eligibility. Brother Bakari, what do you think about the status for for this next upcoming season with all of these late hirings with the coaching?
All these late hires, in my opinion, it absolutely hurt. How can you get out there and get on the ground and recruit? How can you start talking about what you're gonna build? Especially look at Texas Southern now. How can you? I'm just saying what you can't have any plans on doing. I have no idea why it took so long. What take you so long? You already know you're gonna fire a coach, but then it take you this long to hire a coach. Then when you say you got a coach, then all of a sudden that deal ain't done. He done lost a job. I don't know. It's just, but I don't see nothing good. I don't see nothing good coming from that. I really don't see. I don't see anything come with that coaching carousel and how long it's taken. According to G, from what he said about the coach that Alcorn just hired, the players love him. He probably gonna have some players that might come back from the portal. I don't know. Players that gonna stay in the recruiting, according to him, they're in good shape. but I don't know about them other ones with all these with all of these late hires. That's absolutely insane waiting this late. And it's even worse right now. And you see what they're doing to McNair. I don't see how they can even expect to say, "Oh, we're gonna win 5, 6 games this year." They can't. You can't. You're not even. You're really not out there competing out there in the game of recruiting. You're not doing anything. How can you get some? Who's your coach? I don't know. So why would I come to your school? You don't even know who your coach is. And we can talk about how McNair can come there and he can do something with a quarterback. I don't know, somebody named Jason. He said Jason is still there. But you're gonna need pieces to be with their quarterback. And what piece is gonna want to be there if don't nobody even know when you're gonna hire a coach? It's just to me, it's just crazy and it's a failure. And like Mr. Ford said, it seemed like some internal fighting. But I take it a little further than that. I'm gonna stand on what I said. It seemed like Texas Southern and Alcorn was working is working together against McNair. Now that's just me. It seemed like some people know some people and I don't know if McNair rubbed somebody the wrong way or not, but that's what it seemed like, and I hope they stay away from any of these so-called celebrities. On that, I'm going to go and listen offline. I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, so I'm gonna catch me some Z's. Peace and one love.
Thank you for coming on, Brother Bakari. And I just wanted to read this quickly. This is Joe Cook, 16 WAPT News Sports Director. And he says, I really hope all this drama and confusion in Houston works out in Fred McNair's favor. This is just ridiculous at this point. Ed Reed trying to get in the mix at the 11th hour. Andre Johnson was and is allegedly a target for the TSU job. Shaking my head. I don't know what is happening. And also, it looks like the contract was allegedly already approved. So Texas Southern is self-sabotaging. The contract was supposedly already approved because, as we know, and Blake Levine went and he posted he posted it online that they were having a meeting last Friday. They had a meeting, and the meeting was to approve for $313,000 the next head coach. Now, this was a contract that was supposed to be approved on Friday. We never heard of any rumblings of something not being approved. Never heard anything like that. And then now all of a sudden, here we are, and it's different than what was cited earlier. So it is kind of confusing. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull that particular tweet up because at this point we really thought everything was already finished. So it said a special meeting has been called for the Texas Southern Board of Regents to negotiate and approve a salary for their next football coach. The amount listed is $313,000. The meeting took place December 15th at 9:15 a.m. So, obviously, if you are having a meeting about a salary, you're not just going to randomly approve it. So it says approval is requested to appoint and negotiate the employment contract for the head football coach position. The position is vacant as of December 16th, 2023. The contract term is for 4 years. The annual base salary is $313,000. Mind you, this actually was the request was done on Monday, December 11th. During that time frame of that week, Coach Fred McNair was in Houston. Now we see, as per Joe Cooks, that there's some people that are trying to hijack the job with no experience whatsoever. And they're basically trying to do it on the basis of, I'm a celebrity. I can get you fans. I'm a celebrity. I can get funding. But nothing else. No experience whatsoever. So allegedly the contract was approved for the $313,000 for them to hire somebody, but they didn't have the actual contract signed with the head coach. And when Fred McNair says that he isn't in contact with them, what he possibly means is he's not directly in contact. A lot of these coaches, whenever they're being hired, they use coaching firms. They also have lawyers and they have agents. The agents, the lawyers, they do the talking. So Coach McNair, when he was trying to renegotiate his contract with Alcorn State, he's taking into account his level of experience at the job, how long he's been at the job, his resume as far as how many wins he's had. Whenever you go back to the drawing board and you're requesting your employer for more money, you're going to take into account the totality of your resume. These folks, Ed Reed and Andre Johnson, the only thing that they have going for themselves is I used to play in the NFL. Not a fair assessment at all. For me, I don't think that that's fair, that you hijack this position just on the notion that I played in the NFL and I'm a Hall of Famer for Ed Reed, because that's what he's utilizing. Um, and he was a player, so can you really use that?
Talking for who? Andre Johnson?
No, McNair played in the CFL. Coach McNair.
Absolutely.
He played in the AFL. He played football. I mean, you're literally going, your resume is I'm a celebrity and I have a Hall of Fame for Ed Reed. And then for Andre Johnson, I played in the NFL and I worked with the Houston Texans. That's what you are bringing to the table. But Houston Texans ain't even, I mean, they've been making a splash as of recent. But ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Like, Houston Texans is the Cowboys' little brother. So what are we talking about here? Like, resume-wise, you guys don't hold a candle to Fred McNair. And then saying that Fred McNair is older, what does that mean? Do they say that about Nick Saban?
No, Tricky Nicky bringing in the money. That's why they're not saying that about Nick Saban. I mean, honestly, truly, for these guys to even utter those goofy words out their mouth that they can bring in, they can bring notoriety and whatever to the university. Let's look at what's going on with Tennessee State with Eddie George. It has taken him 3 years for them to get some type of fan base to start showing up at games, even though he's still complaining about it right now. His biggest numbers as far as attendance for Texas Southern games is this year. Why? Because they had a winning season, but at one point in time when he was complaining about why wasn't more of the Tennessee State fans showing up to games, they were 4-2 at that time. And I believe they played one of the HBCU teams, in which I think it was at Norfolk State that they played. I think they played them and they had won. And I say this all the time. When you're trying to build back your fan base, yes, you have to get out there and win. Not only that, but you have to bring people in that's going to travel. We know HBCU institutions, they're going to travel to go see games. You saw it with the game this past weekend at the Celebration Bowl. You saw it last year when the Celebration Bowl was here, the year before that, and the year before that. People are going to come in to see HBCUs play if they're living in those areas or if they're close by. They care for those games. The teams that they're playing now in the Big South / Ohio Valley Conference, their attendance is super low. So I didn't quite understand, like, his anger about, why aren't the fans showing up? But I'm just like, if you build it and you're winning, they want to come see it. if you out there dropping a turd on the field, they don't want to come in there and smell that. They're not gonna pay no money to come in there and smell that. They can stay at home and not have to deal with the stench. So that's why I'm like, this is the markets that a lot of these institutions are in. They don't quite understand that. They don't. So this is why it's going to be. This is just terrible on. And I like I said, I don't want to. I'm frustrated with this, and I don't want to swear on your channel because I'm like this is. I know it's a family channel, but I'm just at a point where this doesn't make sense, and you're wrong for what you're doing. You're flat out you're foul. It makes no sense for this man to go through all of this, and all of a sudden, here you want to bring in all of a sudden Ed Reed is a consider. Not Ed Reed. I'm sorry. Johnson is a consideration. Hell,
Yeah, Ed Reed added Texas Southern Tigers talking about, can we talk football?
Okay, so my next question is: isn't that the same type of play he came in with at Grambling? Did he use that same play over at Southern?
He's at this point, he is like, somebody please hire me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cuss out Bethune-Cookman.
Listen, you might well go ahead. Hey, look, I think Benedict got a coach. Come on down here and coach Morehouse. You here in the city? Go ahead, coach Morehouse. They need it. They need some help over there. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like it's. I'm just trying to understand. I'm trying to put this together. So forgive me. But how in the freak do you daggone have a man that come in the Lorman, and you building a team every year to go out there and compete in some way, shape, or fashion? Now, don't get me wrong, he has a lot more assets at his disposal going to Texas Southern. But this man made sweet lemonade out of just regular lemons in Lorman, Mississippi. Because there's not really much to do around there. So I mean, for you to be able to bring athletes into that program, you have to be selling them something that they say, you know what, this makes sense for me to come be a part of this. I've been to Lorman. Once you get on campus, it's a beautiful thing. And you're going to sit there and say, you know what, hey, I'm cool right where I'm at. I'm good. But trying to get there is the thing that I'm like, man, there's nothing around it. That's why I'm like, man, for this man to be done like this, not only just by Texas Southern, but I'm like, God, dog, Alcorn State University, y'all couldn't pay this man? Y'all couldn't pay this man?
They said they didn't have it.
Man, come on, man. That man, like I said, that man ain't crazy. I'm like, you know, it's just at some point in time, I'm just like, guys, we complain about we complain about why our stuff is not the way it needs to be. We got to dig in and go. We got to find ways to make this thing happen. Social media is out here now. A lot of us didn't have social media when we was in college. We had, we had to send a kite out to somebody, snail mail or something like that. Or, we went ahead and told everybody in the area we was going to have a fish fry, a barbecue or something other, and everybody showed up for it. You can automatically count on Miss Jessie. She's going to get 10 plates automatically. It didn't matter if it was fish or ribs. She's buying 10 plates, period. But I'm just like, at some point in time, guys, we have to take a stand and say, you know what? Enough with this bull, man. Let's what do we need to do to get this figured out?
I mean, Mr. Campbell makes a great point. In college, there was no internet when he was.
Absolutely. I'm with him.
Programs were built.
I'm like, man, matter of fact, I check this out. The funny thing is, Coach Gartrell coached at Southwest DeKalb.
Here's what I found.
Man, I ain't asked you nothing. Siri, get your tail out of here. Excuse me. He used to take the film to Eddie Robinson for recruits. He would pack up the film to take it to Eddie Robinson for recruits. I'm like, come on, man. We got to build the vehicle and go. We have to. We have to. Like I said, this is sad, man. This is sad on every level. It's sad.
I think once again, we think, and I think that celebrities are utilizing celebrities to a certain extent. If they're trying to come in and take over, that it cheapens the brand. So for a lot of people that were introduced to Jackson State University by Deion Sanders, Deion Sanders had to leave in order for people to realize, oh, okay, Jackson State's always been lit and it's still lit. Nothing has changed. And when I say nothing has changed, I mean the HBCU culture, going on campus around lunchtime, the football games, the tailgates, the trash talking, the rivalries between Southern and Jackson State, between Jackson State and Alcorn, that these types of things didn't just culminate just because Deion Sanders got here. They've always been here. So for Deion Sanders, he basically stepped in front of HBCU culture, and everybody's like, wow, Deion Sanders did all of this. When in reality, that's just how HBCU culture is. So him stepping away from it, people had to realize, oh, dang, it's still lit over here. Oh, dang.
Yeah, and
That
and
still
all,
has millions of views than all of the has more views than all of the FCS playoff games. Like, oh dang, we didn't realize that it was like that. So Ed Reed is trying to step in front of HBCU culture. Andre Johnson is trying to step in front of culture.
but the
And
question is why? What is your
because
purpose?
they think that they're going to get the same type of love, the same type of admiration, and the same type of they saw Deion get. They're thinking that it translates. But Deion, number one, he had a whole PR management company behind him who does back deals. Some of those deals that you were seeing that he did was literally just cross promotions, kind of like when a rapper
Mm-hmm.
does a feature on somebody on another rapper's song because they're label mates.
Mm-hmm.
Deion's label mates are Snoop Dogg and Michael Strahan. Those are two of his
Mm-hmm.
label mates. They're both on the same label. So Michael Strahan offering the suits to Jackson State, it was like a cross promotion between two label mates. Michael Strahan and Good Morning America coming to Jackson State, a label mate phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Snoop Dogg being the narrator over Coach Prime documentary. It's a label mate thing that you have
Mm-hmm.
going on. So it's not necessarily like he came up out of his pocket for it or this, that, and the third. It was, look, I got an opportunity for you. You're his label mate. You jump on this. Look, I have an opportunity for you. Travis Hunter getting an NIL deal for Michael Strahan facial care brand. That was a cross promotion. So you
Mm-hmm.
guys have to understand that on the outside looking in, you're thinking that it was this big deal that was done, when in reality it was literally a phone call to a label mate, and the label mate is, oh, you're going to get this promotion, you're going to get this good PR, so you should do this. Now Ed Reed and Andre Johnson, you guys don't
No,
have any of those things behind you.
no, no, not at all. I totally agree with you on all of that. I totally
Does
agree.
Ed Reed have any type of like business dealings with Walmart or P&G or
He does he does a lot of landscaping and building type stuff that he has going on.
like with Home Depot?
So I'm not for certain who exactly the company was. I know he spoke on it um when he was down in Bethune Cookman, where you had people, just coming out there just trying to throw money at the program, just trying to help.
Right.
And it just got to a point to where, I think even and I might be wrong with saying that. I think to an extent, I think the Bethune-Cookman folks kind of got afraid of like, whoa, we got a little too much going on. Let's get an understanding of what's happening.
Right.
And like I said, we're only getting it. We're only getting the part with the rant on the social media. We're not getting as far as any backdrops that took place with
I mean,
anything outside
I
of that.
think what happened behind the scenes was he probably was promised a football field. He probably was promised a locker room. But you need to read the room, Ed Reed. There are literally cracked buildings that are leaking from this hurricane. Florida's been dragging their feet on providing help, which, regardless of if Bethune Cookman is public or private, they are privy to FEMA funds and recovery funds and recovery assistance. So being a private school has nothing to do with that. They were eligible and they needed those funds. So, he didn't read the room. He came in there stomping his chest, but then when he took exit stage left, now all of a sudden is I had billionaires and I had this and I had that. If you had all these billionaires like you say you do, come to the program and just get the field done.
Right. I don't think that was the.
He
I
said
don't think that was the
that
place,
he was
huh?
going to have, they had facilities available. They were going to get him what he wanted in his contract. But he wanted it right then and right now. And it's just like, Deion Sanders didn't even come out there like that. He came out there and was like, Walmart's going to get the football facility. What he didn't tell you was that along with that grant is they took 40% out of whatever that grant was that they got and they gave
Mm-hmm.
him for
That's
his
right.
supplement his salary. So he
That's
left
right.
that part out. So yes, Deion Sanders got the Walmart deal done. Yes, they were able to put some of it towards scholarships, but let's not act like he didn't get 40% off of that deal off the top. So I don't know about you, but as a coach, if I'm taking 40% off the top of any of these deals, that's a good deal for me.
Right. That's right. But that's the part of the game that wasn't told. I mean, he didn't tell about how he got kickbacks on all the deals. So I'm just like, what are we doing, sir? All right, don't tell the story to the masses, and then all of a sudden you act as if you were done wrong. It doesn't work that way.
And
People didn't know.
people keep saying that Ed Reed was tied with big Jewish boosters from University of Miami. That's all fine and well. It sounds good. It sounds nice. But if Ed had those boosters like he said he did, then he wouldn't be pushing Bethune Cookman to do the field. So I'm questioning when people say this, why was he in an uproar and having a mental breakdown on live, punching golf carts, and he was mad because they were picking up trash. Sorry to tell you this, but a lot of HBCUs culturally, the student organizations, they do stuff like that. They literally go pick up trash. So, what better way to help your own university than the basketball team, the football team, and other student organizations going and picking up trash because Florida is dragging their feet on providing those people who help clean up?
Man,
Coach Walker, what do you think about the Celebration Bowl ratings?
it was a drop. It was a drop. I mean, they ranked number third, but then you got a lot of people talking about the numbers was a drop from the past couple of years, which was, I mean, I kind of felt like FAMU held their own. I mean, you had a lot of people in there that was in the stadium from all of the other different HBCUs that normally would come to the Celebration Bowl and be a part of the festivities and everything that's going on. I'm trying to think. There was other games that was going on at that time too, if I'm not mistaken, in that same time slot. I could be wrong about that, but I was trying to get those numbers on that. But I did see where they were a point .9 as far as they were a point .9 as far as viewership. I think they was what 1 point.
I mean, it's still more than with the exception of Villanova at South
Right,
Dakota State.
right,
Looks like Villanova at South Dakota State took in 1.85 million. North
right.
Dakota State University at South Dakota 1.09 million, and that was on ABC as well. So
Right.
if you want to compare FCS to FCS, the Celebration Bowl still has large
Outpaced them.
numbers, and
Hmm.
NDSU at South Dakota, it was on ABC as well. FAMU versus Howard, 1.51 million. Um, Still the most highly attended out of all of FCS.
I agree. I agree with that. Hold on, pull this up. I'm trying to. I had the numbers here that I was looking at for this because that was actually something I was going to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Furman at Montana had 769,000 on ESPN2, which is actually pretty impressive for ESPN2. SIU at
absolutely.
Idaho had 132,000. So the thing is, do we compare? So this is what they're trying to say. So are we going to compare FCS postseason ratings? Are we comparing FCS to FCS? Or are they comparing HBCU Celebration Bowl from this year for the past years? Like, it just depends on where you want to go. I think that it's not a good idea to compare the
Right.
celebration for Deion Sanders and say it was because of him,
And that's
because
what they were trying to do.
they were trying, but I mean, it's not like I want to say that the highest ratings were not even Deion during Deion's tenure.
No. Nope. 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 Like I said, it's when you like I said the numbers that Zach McKinnon got up here. As far as the numbers for everything with that went on that day on ABC and ESPN, which um, FAMU would rank number 2 behind Villanova and South Dakota State University. Excuse me, no, they rank number 3. They're behind North Dakota State and who is this? Is that South Dakota?
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean, in the
so
grand scheme of things, it was third on
that's the
Saturday.
one I was looking for right there.
UCLA versus Boise State was 2.38 million. Appalachian State, this now mind you, those are FBS. Miami, Ohio was 1.95 million. FAMU versus Howard was 1.51. Ohio versus Georgia Southern was
Yep,
1.2. So you did better than them. Jacksonville State versus Louisiana, that's an FBS team. Texas Tech,
absolutely.
yeah, FBS. Fresno State, New Mexico State, is that FBS as well?
No,
Or
that's a group of 5.
okay, group of 5. Montana, North Dakota State, 790. Now, this is who we compete against if we're doing FCS versus FCS. So basically, what I'm saying is this. I think it's kind of like, I want to say, not necessarily. I would commend FAMU for being able to pull these types of numbers against FBS.
Absolutely.
And
I mean, the stadium.
people are saying ABC is an over the air channel, so more possible eyes. Still good viewership though. Boise State and Appalachian State were on ABC, and then the other thing that I pulled up, which was FCS versus FCS, which was North Dakota State at South Dakota, that had 1.09 million, and that was on ABC.
They're still ranked 3rd. So I mean, they did fine. Motherfucker, they did right. Hold
Um,
on. Yep. No,
and a lot of
second.
people were saying
Third.
that like a lot of FAMU people actually went to the game.
Oh, the game was packed. I actually did that game. I was at that game. The game they had for 41,100 in the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the fans were there in support of the game. You had a lot of folks that was outside while the game was going on. There's still some people outside that were at the different things that they had going on for the um, patrons that was coming out there, as well as those that those that was in attendance to come see the game, as well as those that were in the area that was just walking around through downtown and wanted to come over there and check out the live shows that they had going on before the game. So, like like I said, it was a good turnout for this game. I like I said, FAMU went out there, they put on a show. I mean, that was a back and forth game that I think some really didn't anticipate happening like that. Um, a lot of people did think that FAMU was just going to come out there and climb all over those folks in the beginning, in which when they spotted them 14 points, you kind of wonder, like, wait a minute, is this going to be another one of those celebration bowls where you see the MEAC come in there and take over a dominating team that's in the SWAC? Well, no, Coach, hold on, make sure I say it correctly. Coach Willie Shotgun Simmons made sure he went in there and got everybody situated at halftime, made the necessary adjustments. They came out there and did what they needed to do. And you can't, you can't get upset with them on that one. But like I said, they put on a daggone good show. I mean, it's like they saved the best for last. They definitely saved the best for last.
And I want to say that, like, I'm trying to find the old tweet. So basically, I did the ratings a long time ago. I did the ratings for like when it was Grambling there, and I want to say that the highest was like before Dion was even thought of. I want to say 2016 might have been the highest.
That was the was it all not that's the Grambling game. That's the year Grambling won. I think they played with the North Carolina A&T. No, they played North Carolina Central. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. It says, don't forget that the games were also on at least 2 other channels. Are those numbers only for ABC? So that's, I don't,
The Celebration Bowl? Or you talking
I
about
mean,
those?
it says, those numbers prove why advertisers want to spend at the Celebration Bowl, which I don't feel like it's a problem. I just feel like a lot of things you just need to up the score on. Celebration Bowl, I feel like they do a phenomenal job of showing that the kids everything's paid for. You know what I'm saying? And they get to walk away with money. But other bowls and classics, they just need to work on. So
when you say other bowls or classics, which one are you speaking of in particular?
I feel like the Magic City Classic could be a little better as far as their payout, because they usually have like 60 to 70,000 people there. They have a lot of people there.
So that
FAMU versus Bethune, they have usually 50, 60,000.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like everything should be. I feel like those are our money games. So when I say that, I mean the amount of money that these other, like, let's say University of Miami is paying 400,000 and this place is playing 300,000. I feel like you should be walking away with enough money directly towards your program that you don't have to necessarily do those money games.
But I mean, what's so bothering about? Okay, let's use the Miami game for instance. Miami got so much money coming into their institution; it's not even funny. So it's not like they don't have the money.
It's just knowing your worth, which I appreciate Deion Sanders for saying you guys are getting the raw end of the deal on this. I do deals every day. This, y'all need to get more money. And there was a lot of pushback from, it was really amazing to see the amount of pushback from people. That's how much they get paid. $400,000 10 years ago is not the same 400,000.
No. Inflation
And
is the mother right now.
We don't care what other FCS teams accept. And they be wanting the band to come, but I don't want my band to be eating box lunches. They need to have a buffet style food. So, and y'all need to feed our kids. Like, you want us to come over there and perform and shuck and jive on this field for 80,000 folks. We need to get paid and we need to eat good.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think they really revealed it with the Southern Heritage Classic and how we were getting shitted on in that particular classic.
Yeah, I think some folks got a little upset with me when I put them numbers out there and gave the breakdown, like, this is what we got going on. and I believe they did 32,000 this year.
I mean, the numbers were abysmal compared to how they usually are.
Well, I mean, whenever Jackson State is not in that game, I mean, just to be honest with you, they have not cracked 40,000. They might have come close once in the 33 years in existence.
I mean, because you're able to get everybody in the upper Mississippi. You have Jackson, then you have the Tennessee area.
Right. All right.
And so I feel like moving forward, it's going to be a conversation that's going to be had, but you have to definitely get your money's worth and make sure that the HBCUs are really cashing in, and that's even with the celebrity hires as well.
Absolutely.
We need to be cashing in on this. So if you hire a celebrity coach, we're expecting for the social media to be in Texas Southern's name, not in the celebrity coach's name, so that he can take it with us. I just
Absolutely.
don't really necessarily like the whole charity case storyline. They needed my help, and I came to them and I helped them, when in reality it was a mutually beneficial relationship. Coach Walker, you want to shout out your channel?
Yeah,
And
y'all go ahead.
uh, let me pull it up. Or yeah, shout out your channel and any shows that you're doing in the upcoming week.
Well, actually, I got a show that's supposed to drop. That's supposed to drop today. My equipment has just been a little loopy, so I'm trying to get that situated now while I'm sitting here in my office. But yeah, you can check me out over at Tomorrow's Leaders Sports Network. Um, that's on YouTube. Also, we got a website, tlsportsnetwork.com. We're putting some information up over there as well as far as different articles on different sporting events that we have going on. We talk about basketball, men and women's basketball as well as football, and we're gonna do a little softball as well. So we're trying to touch on some everything, trying to go ahead and round this thing out a little bit more, so that we can give everybody a complete experience as far as everything that we got happening. And also look forward to another scholarship getting put out there for everybody to for HBCU students to apply for as well at the top of the year. Unfortunately, I didn't do it in 2023. My dad passed away back in early October, so I've been back and forth going to make sure my mom is taken care of in my hometown. So like I said, I'm just really getting back out here, getting my feet wet, trying to get things shaking and baking and going again. And I do appreciate you for allowing me to come on and share your panel this evening. Thank you.
No, thank you so much, and so sorry to hear about the passing of your father. I remember speaking to you at was MEAC SWAC Challenge.
Yep. Me X White Challenge. Yep.
So I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes, ma'am.
Condolences to your family and prayers for healing. Um,
And the same to yours as well.
yes, thank you. Thank you so much. So Mr. Ford, I don't know. Mr. Ford. So I don't think Mr. Ford is on, but he must be fell asleep. I have an announcement. I will be doing the National Signing Day tomorrow.
Okay.
So make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, turn your notifications on, because um, I've been doing a lot of impromptu lives just due to me being out of school and being able to do that. Um, Make sure that you guys tune in, because we have a lot of exciting recruits that are going to be committing tomorrow. It's going to be an exciting day for Jackson State University, and there's going to be other schools that are going to be announcing theirs as well. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Hopefully, we'll get some better news in the next couple of days, and Coach Mcnair will go ahead and they'll push the contract through so that he can start recruiting and getting the program together. Everybody
Indeed.
have a good night.
Do say. Thank you.